It's time once again for the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. Thanks for joining us. In the next half hour, a look back at the most recent council meeting and a look around town. What's new in Maple Grove? You'll find out. That's all next on the Maple Grove City Report. And thanks again for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report, joined by City Administrator Al Madsen, shuffling the big stack of papers for you today with some reports. Welcome, Al.
Thank you, Dave.
We've got about a half-hour council meeting to talk about. We'll get to that in just a few minutes, but as always, we'd like to take a look around town to see what is new in Maple Grove. So, Al, what's the latest? What should people know in the town?
Farmers Market officially starts their outdoor season, yes, June 12th from 3 to 7 in the over by the community center where we've had it for the last 10 years. So this is our 11th year. So encourage everybody to come over to the farmers market. There's a wide range of products. So
opportunity for people to shop, but also a number of entertainment things going on throughout that time too. So they encourage people just to stop by and enjoy Maple Grove. For sure.
Another fun thing coming up is the Maple Grove Historical Preservation Society will have an open house at the museum, and that is Sunday, June 8th, and that is, the museum is at 9030 Forest View Lane. It's part of the old portion of the Public Works facility, but from 1 until 4. And so myself, my wife, I think Councilmember Jager and her husband, and maybe 1 or 2 other members of the Historical Society will be there just to talk about to people and talk about the history of the city. So,
and most people, I would guess, think, well, Maple Grove, it's such a young city, it doesn't have a rich history, but not true. You've been digging back a little bit, and it goes back quite some ways.
It truly does. I mean, it goes back into the 1850s, and Pierre Bottineau and one of the founders. I mean, technically, Maple Grove did not become a city until 1974, but we go way back, 100 years or more before that, and so it's really a fun opportunity just to see we've got a lot of things that are stored off-site, but we got a lot of wonderful things in the museum itself, and it's just a fun opportunity for people to just come in there and just look at the history, and we've got old maps and things like that. So
what kind of things would you have, like some of your baby pictures?
Yeah.
No, not.
Hopefully not. I hope not. Well, we've got old wedding gowns.
Okay.
There's a lot of old pictures from the 1800s. There's old toys in there. There's I guess it's such a wide range. There's a wonderful old phonograph, old radios. I mean, there's just a wide range of historical things to take a look at. So,
very neat. So again, what's the date of that?
June 8th, Sunday.
June 8th. All right, so for those watching us early here, you can catch that. But is there a way, if people don't get to that event, they can see the museum at some time and find out a little bit more about history?
Sure can, and we do have an open house once a month.
Okay.
And so they can go to our website. So, I think it's every 3rd Sunday we do have an open house.
Great.
And so it's a neat place to go back and just kind of refresh yourself about what took place in the city. And
Very good.
Years ago, and you sometimes wonder, and you look at some of the things that they had to use to make ends meet.
Right.
Sewing machines or whatever the case, and you wonder, how did they survive?
Yeah.
So.
Very good. All right, so head out there and take a look at that if you can as we're taping this, or go to the website to find out some of those other dates for the Historical Museum.
Let people know the Residence Guide is out in the mail to people, as well as the city newsletter. So people, if they haven't received it in their mailbox by now, they will be. Starting now this summer, Town Green will kick into action with concerts. Every Monday, Wednesday, and evenings, and Thursday afternoon, there will be concerts at the Town Green. The schedule is out on the website, so people can take a look to see who's going to be coming. My assumption is sometime during this season, we'll have the the Bob Dylan tribute again, the Johnny Cash tribute again. Those two, I'm absolutely amazed as to how many people come out. I mean, we're talking thousands. We aren't just talking a few hundred. So.
And for use of that site, people should again know, and probably already have figured this out, that the parking ramp at the library is the #1 place to park, right?
It is, truly is, and people can certainly park on the upper floors. They try to keep that first floor for the Hennepin County Library participants. But some of this it happens in the evening, and doesn't necessarily impact library hours. But yeah, the parking ramp that the library has is a perfect place to park.
Some of those concerts and activities do happen during the day too, so again, street parking is fine, and that's for the families. If you've got younger kids, it's a great place to stop by. They've got some entertainment geared just to you.
Sure is, absolutely right. Silver Creek on Main, we broke ground this past week for the senior citizen development. It's at the corner of Weaver Lake and Main Street. First phase is 195 units, and the second phase is about the same number. There's a big sign right up there at the corner that shows what the project will look like. It is going to have just a wonderful, significant presence right at that corner. And we've got Central Park that's under construction there. We've got the Lacesse's market rate multi-family project. That's not just seniors, but that's open to anybody. Underway, you've got the the Bottineau Ridge project, which is affordable housing project, and the existing senior development that's there along Arbor Lakes. They're going to be adding on about 46 or 48 units of memory care. And so there's just a huge amount of activity that's going on in that area. And folks that are going to be renting in that area, I mean, they're going to have such wonderful access to the Central Park, to our dining areas, our shopping areas. I mean, it's going to be just a wonderful thing. So.
And as I recall, the senior facility is one that is set up like many are these days with all different levels of care. And also a nice little fitness twist, if I recall. Is that right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. The Silver Creek project, it's similar, although we think it's better looking than the one that's in Eden Prairie, of course. But it has a lot of different amenities inside, everywhere from a barber shop to a fitness center to pharmacies to grocery stores. I mean, it's really a community within the development itself. And the fitness center, it certainly is open to those that live in the facility, but is open to Maple Grove residents. Also, if they want to come in, they do not have to live in the unit itself or be signed up to rent one at somewhere down the road. So that's open to Maple Grove residents as well, but not free, but there's a fee.
Okay.
So anyway. So that's a very, very nice thing. This past week, we have had 1 million retirements because of changes in the public employee retirement pension plan. We have lost a number of our employees. Chief Jess retired, Captain Stilley retired, Sergeant Garland retired, and Sergeant retired. And then Bill McGowan, who's in our engineering department as a project coordinator, retired. Those individuals have approximately 139 years of experience. And so it's, we wish them well, but we're losing 139 years of experience, and that's tough. That's tough to replace. So, but we wish them the best.
Certainly do.
Let me just see a couple other things here. Right now, we have issued 99 single-family building permits versus 89. Where staff is working with Opus. There's that vacant piece of land at, I guess I'm goofy on directions, but I think it's like the northeast quadrant. It's across from the Arbor Lakes Medical Center, across from the fountains. That piece of land has remained vacant for a long time. Opus has an option on it. They haven't actually acquired it yet, but they have an option on it. So we're working with Opus for the development of that roughly 38 acres. So it'll be a wide range of uses in there if we can get everything to work. So,
Okay.
So
Very
be nice to see that get underway as well. So.
One other development item we wanted to touch on, we had talked about at the last program, but we've got, thanks to our crack crew here, Chris, David, and Matt have put together some visuals for us here. Let's take a look at this site. This is what's going to be called the Red Rock site. Al, give us a little idea of what this is and where it is.
That is Red Rock Business Park. That is along County 81, just before you get into Osseo. It's across from, there was a former Shell station that was located across the street. That actually is coming down. That site there will be redeveloped. And then this is the Red Rock Business Park. The first phase is 182,000 square feet of industrial space. And the second phase is roughly 84,000 square feet, something like that as well. So that, they want to start construction in July this year. And so first phase with 182,000 square feet. It's a very large industrial building, multi-tenant. Won't be one single user in there. But that is along County 81, and then on the backside is 89th Avenue. Most of the access would be off of 89th. There will still be access available off of County 81 because there is a curb cut that comes in there now. So this is a former, well, it's got some history to it. It was a Bladholm concrete property years ago when I came with the city. Then they sold to a company called County Concrete. And then County Concrete operated there for a while. Shut it down and sold it to a company called Raven Industries, which is an investment group. They then turned around and sold it to United Properties, and so United Properties is going to develop it into two very large industrial buildings. So.
Just to give us perspective, the size of those two buildings, what would they be comparable to in Maple Grove? We'll put you to the test here. Size-wise, because you say, what, 182,000?
182,000,
and
well,
it's hard to figure, just how big is that? What does it compare to?
Well, FedEx, the FedEx building, that's 300,000.
That's 300,
right.
Okay, so this would be a
Yelapa.
little over half of that size.
Right, so.
Okay.
The government center, that's like 93,000, so it'll be double us.
All right.
So.
You help us novices in size of buildings to get a little better picture of how big. And the time frame of that, Al?
They want to start construction in July and on the first building, 182,000 square foot building. It's not an elaborate industrial building. I mean, it's going to be a very attractive building with block and prefaced concrete block, I should say tilt-up panels, a lot of glass, things like that. So it'll be a nice presence along there, but it's finally nice to. It's a 22-acre parcel that's been sitting vacant for quite some time.
Right.
And so it's now nice to get that going. And then across the street, it was the old Shell station. That's going to be demolished by the new owner, and be nice to see that going as well. That will be another Shell station brand, along with convenience.
Okay.
So we get that cleared up too as well. So
Very nice.
That's been vacant there for, I shouldn't say vacant, but
Final
building's
question.
been there for some time.
Right. Final question about the Red Rock as far as tenants to go in there and possibility of new jobs coming to Maple Grove. Is that something on the horizon?
They say that they have a number of prospective tenants that are lined up.
Okay.
They're building the 182,000 square foot building with no tenant in mind.
Okay.
It's a spec building. They seem to feel, though, that the market is very strong in our area, and I think they're right.
Okay.
They're saying that the larger building is probably going to generate at least 250 jobs.
Very nice.
It could be a little bit more than that, depending on the user that comes in there. And then once they get that 182,000 square foot building leased out, probably my thought is maybe 80% leased out. They're going to get cranking on that second building, so they're going to keep right on and moving.
Great news.
Yep, so that's going to be very nice. Just to remind folks, the North Metro Range, which is the gun range the city has along 89th Avenue, that is open to public shoot, and we do have a website, and so people can check our website on that. So that's doing very well. And again, I mentioned that the single-family homes are still doing well. The multi-tenant homes is what's really,
Right.
we got a lot of permits out on that. So the past council meeting was smooth. It was a little under 30 minutes, and we did approve the Park Nicollet Regional Specialty Center. That's about a 40 or 41,000 square foot medical office building located over in the area of Aldi's and Cambria Suites.
Right.
And so that they're hoping to get going on construction this summer for that one. So that'll be nice as well. We did, then we got to a project called TRICARE. TRICARE is a very large piece of land over west of Menards, that side of the freeway.
Right.
It's about 94 acres, but only about 54 can be developed because of wetlands and tree zones and things like that. And so it's one of those 3 sites that was being proposed for a Maple Grove hospital.
Right.
And so it's the TRICARE site. They now have submitted a concept. This isn't the development stage plan yet, but a concept for a very large, and I think we're going to have something.
There you go.
There it is. A concept plan for a very large development. Again, of the 94 acres, it only covers 54 that can be actually developed, but it'll be a combination of the northern end, it'll be the high density residential, and then as you move south, it's office buildings and then retail, and along the County Road 30. The building that's on the south there to the left, where it talks about plasma, that is coming through the system right now. That is about a 17,000 square foot building that would, I think, be the first development within the TRICARE area. So this is it's going to be a very, very large development. There's no doubt about that. It's a large piece of land that, well, it's ever since you know, they attempted to have the hospital there, they just have kind of held it in abeyance and haven't you know, done anything. And then to the north of that, 610 comes across to the north, and so it's I think it's going to be a very solid development. A lot of activity is going to be going on in there, you know, between the retail and the office and then the high density residential. So.
Few questions for you on it. Just to note, the pink that you see, as you can read there, is the power line easement. So that's where the power lines go through. So it gives you a little perspective on how big the site is. You mentioned, again, TRICARE is the one behind this. How much of it will be medical itself?
Well, they haven't really come up with an exact number, but my guesstimate is that most of the office that's going to be in there, you know, you exclude the retail, I think there's about either 74,000 or 84,000 square feet of retail, which is individual buildings.
Right.
But I think there's about 160, 170, 180,000 square feet of office. My guess is most of that is going to be medically related. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And that first one that's coming through the system now is a high-tech medical technology type of business. And so I think that one, we'll see construction on that start late summer.
And what we've seen happen, obviously, is once one medical facility gets in a spot, the trend kind of continues and like businesses get together. If we can take a look at the south end one more time, just from a traffic standpoint, Al, you see County Road 30 is at the bottom of the picture there. As far as traffic, will there be much of a change of the intersection there at County 30?
No, not too much of a change. The only thing that might change on this concept is as you exit off of County Road 30, you take a right, you go up past that medical plasma building. The first left will probably be eliminated. And, excuse me, I'm sorry. The first left will stay. The second left will probably be eliminated because of how close it is to that roundabout area. So there will be an adjustment to one of those entrances. However, it's not going to mess up, you know, the ability for people
Right.
to get to the businesses themselves.
And I was going to highlight your wonderful roundabout, so the trend continues in
Yes.
Maple Grove to have those, but that obviously connects, you see, to Garland Lane, and so that would connect in that road that right now ends nowhere as you come up behind Menards.
That's right.
Now has a plan.
It has a plan, and timing-wise, I'm not certain what, I think that we know for certain on that one building at the south end that they want to start yet late summer. The rest of it, it's going to be pretty much market-driven. I don't think that they have anybody that is just lined up to sign on the dotted line for a multi-story office building or anything like that. But it's going to be an attractive project, and the market's been very strong. We have approved almost, let me say, I'm trying to think of between the retail and the office and the industrial. So far, we've approved about 900,000 square feet of projects, which is very, very good.
Right. Things are
And the
going
market
well.
has really come back. It no doubt has. So it's very, very strong, and it keeps getting stronger. So we're happy about that. So.
We will keep you up to date certainly on that project as it moves from concept and the next steps it might take. Back to the council meeting now.
Council meeting, those that probably haven't experienced, we're milling the end of Weaver Lake Road. So just drive safe when they get into that area. We are canceling the first council meeting in July. Typically, when a council meeting in July falls on or close to July 4th, we have a number of vacations, and so the first meeting in July will be canceled. So it'll be just one meeting in July.
Okay.
So
Very good.
that's it. Things are going along very, very well.
While we've got you here and a couple minutes left, just a little transportation update for people. 494 and 610, a couple of our favorite numbers. They've been a little quiet for a little while after a lot of excitement. Just give us an update on those two for people interested in that third lane on 494. Where is it now? How is it moving through the process?
Well, we're very happy that MnDOT has seen the light and has agreed to add a third lane, a legitimate third lane, as we call it, to 494. We're anticipating construction to begin the fall of this year.
Okay.
Now, it's going to be a little difficult at times
Yeah.
because it's certainly going to be construction under traffic, and that always poses a problem. 610, we're expecting 610, the bids to probably be let in August, and then probably in September, MnDOT will award, probably late September, they'll award a bid. And so I think in October is when we'll kick off that final 2.5 miles of 610. That's been a long time coming.
Right,
So.
a lot of people looking forward to that.
Sure.
Final question, all the rain we've had here, we've seen some other areas in the Twin Cities have some issues with flooding in creeks and lake levels. Anything in Maple Grove to speak of?
Nothing of any serious nature. We did have, I believe, one homeowner that did have a sewage backup in their basement. No, we didn't have anything of a serious nature. But one thing that all the heavy rain problem it's caused is that we're running behind in our boulevard mowing. And so I just ask people to be patient because I
Right.
do get calls from people
Sure.
saying, well, boulevard looks like it's a mess. And it is. But the rains have just really set us back. In fact, the Lasesi development, that multi-tenant development, they're about 50 days behind schedule because of the rain.
Right.
Silver Creek is about a week behind schedule. So we're mowing as fast as we can, but we didn't have any serious sewage backups. One of the interesting things is that behind the government center, there's that man-made lake back
Right.
there. And years ago, we put rock around it. We never thought that part of it, the water would cover the rock because we just didn't expect that to ever happen.
Right.
And there is a section in there now where
has
the
done
water
it.
has covered it. So the rains have been heavy, but so far we've been able to maintain business as usual.
All right, very good. Al, thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Dave.
Appreciate you coming in for the update. Let's
to be
give
here.
you a couple phone numbers, dates, websites to jot down in case you're interested. The next council meeting date is on Monday, June 16th, 7:30 at the Government Center. Phone number to the Government Center on the bottom of the screen in case you have any questions. And we mentioned quite a few things that are on the website, so if you're interested in more information about the newsletter or some of the publications that have gone out recently, or also about the Historical Museum and opportunities to take a look at what the history of Maple Grove is, maplegrovemn.gov. And also our viewer response line, 533-1710. If you have questions or comments for the program, send them in. We'll try to address them on the next program. For Al Madsen, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.